to everyone present here. We welcome you all to this very special edition of our talk show, where we have the privilege of being in conversation with a truly extraordinary artist. Today, we are honored to welcome our revered guest, Mr. Adil Hussain, an artist who has made the entirety of Assam extremely proud and taken Indian cinema to the global stage. From Life of Pi to Mukti Bhavan, his performances have touched hearts across the world. More than an actor, Mr. Hussain is a mentor and an inspiration to aspiring talents everywhere. We are truly privileged to have him with us here today. Could we have a huge round of applause? So I'd like to just say that it's an absolute honor to have you here with us. And we're truly excited to hear about your entire journey from the lanes of Goalpara to the National School of Drama, and then to the global sets of Hollywood and international cinema. So,
that will take around 5-7 hours to explain, or a book. So, in short, I would say that I was lucky enough to be born in a state or in a geographical area of such complex and diverse cultural vibrancy, where in every neighborhood in Assam, almost in all towns and cities, that there is a music club or a drama club or a theatre club or a sports club, a dance club, which is unique. I have not seen this in any other part apart from Bengal, I guess, a little bit, and maybe a bit of in Kerala and Maharashtra. Uske ilawa, I have not seen this in many states in India. So I am very lucky also to be born in a district which was the border district of Bengal. So I was lucky to be to have access to Bengali literature and Jyotiprasad Agarwala. And Jyotiprasad Agarwala, being, forefathers are from another part of the world, but he is considered the icon of Assamese literature, of course, art, cinema. He is the first film man who made the Assamese film. And so is another from Goalpara. We have another person who is not much celebrated in Assam or not even India, who made the first Hindi film in an Assamese, who made the first Devdas, acted in the first Devdas, and the second Devdas he directed. The actor was K.L. Saigal, and his name is Pramatesh Chandra Borua. And I know his family because my brother got married to Pramatesh Chandra Borua's granddaughter. So that's how I know that family. So I'm born in this small. So your one question will take the entire session to answer, but I will try to cut it short. So in a district like that, I grew up with Sharat Chandra and Rabindranath Tagore and Lokshmanath Bezbarua, Bhupen Hazarika, Jyotiprasad Agarwala, and you take any name, the great personalities and the literators from this state. And then I got introduced, I got introduced to theatre at the age of 7 or 8 in kindergarten. Fell in love with acting, continued. Then I did theatre every year, went to college. I also joined NCC. So these guys out there, outside the door. I was in Navy in school, then I was in the Army section when I was in college. So continued doing theatre every year, and then at the age of 13, how old are you guys? 15. Sorry? Oh, you're in class 12? Ah, right. So, of course, our son is 15. He just uh, he passed his matriculation exam. So at the age of 14, I knew that I want to pursue acting. And then my father was obviously not happy about it, and understandably so, because in a small town like that, who would think that my son should act? And in those days, in 80s, 70s. So, but I pursued, and then I found out about National School of Drama, that there is a school, they teach you acting. Oh my God, and they teach you for free. You don't have to pay a single penny to study there, and it is still like that. So if you get a seat, you don't need to pay, the government pays you to study there. Can you imagine that? Otherwise, people like me, who comes from a very, very humble background, my father was a teacher, didn't have money to buy milk, to feed, to make milk tea. I wouldn't have been able to dream to go to a place like National School of Drama if they would have charged any money. So I got a scholarship, I got a seat, I got a scholarship. Anybody who gets a seat gets a scholarship. So there are 36 seats. In our time, there were only 20 seats across the country. So out of 1 billion population, you have 20 seats. And then to get there is a tough one. So I was lucky enough to get there. And after that, I got a scholarship to study acting at the Drama Studio London. The name of the institution is Drama Studio London. So I got a scholarship from British Council, and then I studied there, came back, fell in love with theatre, didn't want to act in movies because I didn't like the movies that Bollywood was making. I was not watching them, so why should I be in them? So I started continuing doing theatre. Then at a certain point, one director, my first film in Hindi, his name is Abhishek Chaubey, who made films like Ishqiya, that was my first film. He came to Delhi from Bombay to convince me to act in his film. I said, okay, karte hain, acha hai. And I asked him, how much do you pay? And he said, 25,000 rupees per day. And I was getting that money per month. While teaching in NSD, I said, I got married also. I thought, oh, that's not bad. Paisa zyada deta hai yaar ye log. तो मैंने कहा करते हैं. So I decided to do it, and then that film became popular. Then I got again the second film called Agent Vinod. Then I got English for English and Life of Pi, and all that happened. And then, I haven't stopped getting work, thankfully. I didn't even have to go to look for work in Bombay. The reason I got the first film, that's the most important part, is that the person who made the film saw me on the stage while performing a play called Othello. And that play I did for 10 years. The first 2 years we had been performing in India, and then the rest of the years we performed across the globe. So in Bombay, when we were performing, this man saw my play, and because of that play, that I am here talking to you, and because of NSD. And more important aspect about that play, that I trained for 9 years in acting before I did that play. NSD 3 years, 1 year in the UK, and then for next 5 years, I trained with my teacher to learn the craft and go deep into the craft so that I understand the nitty-gritty, every nuance of the craft and the art of acting. And I thought, if I invite somebody, like audience like you, to come and watch me, like if I invite you to come and have a meal, and I decided to cook for you, I must cook well, right? Otherwise, you will say on my face, "Ah, खाना तो अच्छा था." घर में जाके बोलेंगे, "कैसा खाना बनाया यार?" No? So I felt very responsible that if I invite some audience to come and watch my play, it has to be very good. Otherwise, I'd rather not do it. So it was good, and because of that, then we took that play to the greatest festival in the world of theatre. It's called Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Google it, you would know. 3,000 plays come from across the globe, and there are 300 venues. Play starts from 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 at night. So at any given time, there are 300 plays going on. And our play got the fringe first out of 300 3,000 plays from across the globe in 1999. And then I thought, oh, I think I can act okay. I think I will be able to, sustain myself as an actor and practice theatre. That's my story. Then of course I got lipopyron.
That's one for the books. Thank you so much for detailing your account. I know that a lot of our schoolmates are eager to ask you questions.
Yeah.
So we'll have a question.
If nobody has a question, then it's time for tea.
Okay, Jashashri, my classmate Jashashri.
But she is younger.
Same class, sir.
Okay, fine.
Sir, good morning, sir. It's a pleasure to have you here. Sir, you mentioned that you fell in love with acting at the age of 8. So, sir, I believe that acting is a passion or a hobby for an 8-year-old is very unique. So, sir, an 8-year-old say that I like to draw, paint, sing, etc. So, what is the story behind you falling in love with acting at an age of 8?
Or am I just telling a false story? Huh? Just to make it look sound good, no? No, sit down, just joking. I think when I recollect, see, when you are 8 years old and when you were asked this question at the age of 60, or I had been asked this question at the age of 50 also. But when you are 50 and you are looking back at your life, you rarely remember the details. That happens. Sometimes some incidences, some situations you might remember vividly. But quite a lot of things you forget. Or maybe you will not forget, but I forgot. So, what I remember is this. So my first play in my life in 1971, I was 8 years old and I was in the kindergarten, and our batch was the first batch, and a first batch, so only batch, right? Because the school had just started, the only batch, and they held the annual event for art and culture and all that, sports and all that. So there was a play, it's a skit, it's not even a play. It's a skit called Cap Maker and the Sailor. And there were two characters. So my maths teacher, she chose her son and me to play these two roles. We were the tallest and we were the only two people who agreed to do also. So there was not that she chose her son because of nepotism, no. So Biswajit and me, he played the sailor, I played the cap maker. And the play was probably of 30, maybe 25 to 30 minutes play. So we rehearsed, we performed the play. And when I came down from the stage, my ma'am, she was there and she was like, Adil, that was so good. I said, but ma'am, I spoke in Assamese then. आप लोग समझते हो Assamese? हाँ. असमिया में मैंने पूछा, ma'am, आधा घंटा हो गया? She says, yes. Why? I said, it felt like 5 minutes. You see, so something very special happened. That for me, time stood still. Internally. That I later, much later, when I studied Stephen Hawking, Brief History of Time, The Universe in a Nutshell, Roger Penrose, I read a lot of physics and astrophysics. Then I realized that time is so relative, and when you can spend 4 seconds in the speed of light in the space, and there will be 80 years will pass by on the planet, you know. So internally I felt that I did not grow older. I only grew old for 5 minutes. I did not, you know, I cheated half an hour for 5 minutes. Because when you experience life and time feels shortened, or you sort of captured time in your hand and time doesn't pass, your biological clock also slows down, I feel. So, and it felt magical for me. But all this articulation that I'm doing right now, it is on the hindsight. At that time, only this much I remember. I did not say to myself when I was 8 years old, time is magical, I should practice this. No, I just, if you would have asked me then, I would say, I love it. But if you would have counter-questioned me, why do you love it? I would say, I don't know. That is why it is important to question also. You love it, but why? You may not be able to answer. Don't look for an articulated answer, but question. What is it that makes me, tomorrow morning I'll go, but why? What is it? What is it? It doesn't matter for what. Maybe you'd like to go and meet your cousin or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your mother, your father, or for a good food, for a good meal or a fun picnic. At your age, I'm just trying to imagine what all makes you tick, I don't know. But something makes you biologically feel like, you're waiting for tomorrow. I'll go, I mean, there's a lot of people I know because we have a 15-year-old, so I had to take him away from games. And but a lot of people, a lot of youngsters, they think that gaming is a thing. They don't understand the neurological implications of what it does to your brain, because the frontal lobe of your brain, I have read a lot on that, so trust me when I say something. I do not say words lightly. That I have studied that the frontal lobe, it keeps growing till you're 25 years old, and it hampers that growth when you are focused, narrow focus on the screen, and the hormones which are being sort of harnessed by game, it is specifically commercially designed to catch hold of that hormone called dopamine. And dopamine depletion is extremely unhealthy for your health. It depletes you and it makes you anxious, it makes you depressed, it makes you angry, irritated, short-tempered. And I've seen that with our child. And I took his gaming devices away 7 months back, and he is much better a human being. He's interacting, he's talking, he's asking questions, Papa, how are you? Or he's looking around. Otherwise, he was like this. He will come outside the room and he will be like, hey, Kabir, good morning. Good morning, Papa. And then he'll be just like this. And now he comes and like, hi, Papa. There is a whiteness. Otherwise, it's like this. Called tunnel vision. And a long time practice of such activities will make you further depressed, and then you lose vision what you want to do in your life, because that is not going to satisfy you. It's like you keep McDonald's burger, you keep eating it, you know what it's going to do to your body, right? It's very tasty on the tongue, but extremely, extremely bad for your health.
I think so. I'm sorry to just interrupt. And what you said is actually very, very pertinent.
It is important.
It's so important for them to know.
Yes.
And it's not coming, I'm sorry to interrupt you, it's not coming from the teacher, it's not
No,
coming from
you
your
didn't tell me.
parents.
No.
It's actually somebody, another person is telling you this. It's so important.
Oh, I didn't know you were struggling with this.
So
Okay, no, because I've seen it in my own eyes,
You're seeing one person, we're seeing so many.
I know.
We're struggling through
Yeah,
this.
so it is.
Something very
So to have, so that's why there are certain, like we keep having this chat with our 15-year-old, and I've seen he's grown 15 now, but I've seen his growth, and it is so, the difference is stark. he just gotten his result, and I was not expecting more than 60. I was not even expecting anything. I said, it's okay for you to fail, because it is better to fail than putting yourself under huge pressure and to graduate and to pass. Relax, आप बहुत छोटे हो. I don't mind you stay in one class so that you can gather yourself and then go forward. Because I come from a background where I was pressurized and I didn't like it. So I don't want to put our son through the same process. Don't pressurize me. Because under pressure you might do some well, but also it can burst. So it is important to relax. So after I took away his devices, he's telling me, Papa, I think now I understand a little bit why. I'm like, what do you see? I feel like waking up in the morning and just being. If you go to YouTube and you type TED Talk and slash the importance of boredom. Boredom is very important. Only during you are bored, the brain repairs itself. It solves problems, your personal problems. It solves your complicated, complex issues. Why you are feeling this way, that way. It solves. Try to listen to all these amazing neuroscientists. The idea of boredom. To be bored is very important. Don't do anything. Sit and get bored. It is easy to not to be bored, to take this, but then you are not learning unless you are watching something which is extremely high quality, not like brum, 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 and all that. So coming back, sorry, so you finished your question, right? So now he also studies Japanese in his school. There is this language, Japanese, as well. He got 95 in Japanese, 93 in English, and mathematics, I thought he'll fail. He got 85. I was like, wow, amazing. In total, he got 83%. I didn't even expect 60. You understand? The change. So, coming back to, I didn't know that I will be interested in that. So now our son, he wrote a play and directed it in class 11th standard. So he had the time to be bored, and then he probably found, oh, I can write this play. And he wrote a play, he directed the play. It is important to find what you want to do in life, just give time to yourself. Don't engage yourself with toxic things like scrolling, either YouTube or Instagram or whatever. It's a very dangerous device. It could be also a very beneficial device depending upon how you use it. Dangerous when it becomes that it is very dangerous because there is a camera there. And each and every human being on the planet, we are, to a great extent, narcissists. We like ourselves, and that comes from a place of inferiority complex, I guess. That we like to take a photo and put it out. We like this way and that way, and what the other people are talking about you. You give a lot of value to the impression that you project to the world. Instead of looking internal beauty, we look at external beauty a lot. We look at appreciation. What will people say? There's a film I did. It's a beautiful film. Unfortunately, it's not available in India. And we give a lot of value what other people will say. And it is important that what other people will say is not going to help you anyway. What you think of yourself, how you take responsibility of what you think of yourself, and what you think of the other is your responsibility. What other people think of you is their responsibility. You know what I mean? So, coming back again, I decided to follow that thing which made me feel magical. at the end of the day? It's a long answer. Good Lord, sorry. Yes. I remember my.
Good morning, sir. It is an honor to have you here. My question to you is,
Use the mic. Give her the mic. Use the mic.
No, it's okay. Oh.
from being in Assam's Hengo Theatre to being Othello, and then playing the role of Ratan Garodia in The Storyteller, you've been in many stories and played many roles. So, and being from Assam, stories play a very necessary part in all of our lives because it is rooted in our folklore as well, starting from the famous Buriyar Madhu. So how did these stories from your childhood in Assam shape you as an actor?
Good question. Sit down, please. Thank you. Unconsciously, subconsciously, consciously, with awareness, sometimes without knowing even, that we have imbibed all kinds of cultural phenomena which you are surrounded with, right? We read, my mom read Burger Hadu to me, and the other stories from across, some translations from other countries, Arabian Nights, for example. You know, and we didn't have access to many things those days because of lack of communication, but still for some reason I remember I read Theory of Relativity at the age of 9 or 10. That was a Russian publication because India was close to Russia those days, then America is still close, but those days even closer. And the Russian publication was on Theory of Relativity, which was translated into English from Russian, and it was published in India, and my brother gave me the book. So only few books, and of course there was this library. My father used to come and tell me stories. So I think, and also the theater that I did during my childhood. There was a dramatist who lived near next door neighbor, and he would write stories, and he saw stories. He read plays which are inspired by the absurd theater genre, theater of absurdity, absurd theater. I'm just trying to remember the person who wrote the first absurd theater. Waiting for Godot is the name of the play. Who wrote it? I forgot. Anyway, ma'am can tell you later. Waiting for Godot, and Godot never comes. So all those things, listening to Bhupendra's songs, listening to Tagore. My father was a devotee of Tagore, so he used to read Tagore poetry to me almost every morning, you know. Then reading all these and studying in the school as well, social studies, geography. Because my favorite subject was geography, civics and economics was my subject, and I got interested in them to find out about the world. So all these things shape you, and the introduction to theater, your personal experience, you know, in acting, and that also makes you curious about why people behave the way they behave. Why I feel angry sometimes and I feel happy sometimes. Why emotion suddenly goes like angry and suddenly how does this change happen? So I wanted to find out more about human emotions. So I had to study human emotion through the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra and Sri Aurobindo and Vivekananda and Ramana Maharshi and all that. So to find out how this piece of instrument, this organism works. And this is my instrument. My instrument is not a guitar. My instrument is not a piano. I play myself. And when I say I, means any actor, is the player and the instrument is rolled into one. So I have to have an awareness and also to play. I have to be angry, and I know that I have to get angry. That means I have to play my instrument. No? Or I have to feel sad, and I should be able to cry whenever I want. So see, now tears coming to my eyes, right? So I have to know how to do that. To learn how to do that, I had to fall back on Yoga Sutra, that how breathing works, how breath is related to your emotion, how emotions are related to your physical posture. If you sit all the time like this, you feel depressed because your spine is bent, your diaphragm is, compressed by your abdomen. So when you sit straight and your spine is straight, you breathe well, you feel better. When you breathe deeper and gentler, without unnecessarily forcing it, gently and deeply, you will get rid of lot of unnecessary worries. Just focus on your breath, how it travels from the tip of the nose to your belly. And it's a very simple thing to do, but as I said, not easy, because to sit like that you have to make some time. But you don't have to actually. When you drive, when you sit, when you talk, you can always keep an eye on your breath, secretly, not telling your friends like, look. Right? You can just secretly keep focus on your eyes. So all those things I had to learn, but then my cultural foundation, my love for language, my love for softness of Assamese language, and then you understand that, oh, Assamese even is softer than Bengali, because we don't have the words cha, cha, sha. These are hard words. We are softer. We only have saw and ha, right? These are softer words. And then you start appreciating language and respect also the language which are different than us. Like Bengali has different, ways and very sweet. और the हिंदी बहुत जैसे हिंदी जो राष्ट्र भाषा है, that is forced because that had been invented. There is nobody speaks like that, but it has been taken from different dialects of Hindi and made to be official Hindi, so that there is one kind of like BBC English. Nobody speaks like BBC English. The Queen speaks differently. The other neighborhood, Scotland, they speak differently. Welsh is a totally different language. It's not English at all. Nothing to do with English. Scottish has a very different language. So I started appreciating other languages as well. So all those things made me who I am, and still learning. It's a never-ending process. It never ends. And I also teach acting. So when you teach acting, you learn more than you can teach. While teaching, you learn more. So my teacher told me, don't go to teach. I'm like, what do you mean? I've been asked, yeah, you go there to learn and don't teach. How do you learn? By asking questions to the students and also accepting the fact, something that you don't know, have the courage to say, I have no idea. I don't know. Let's find out. To have the humility to say no. No in a sense, to have the humility to accept the fact that I have no idea about the question that you asked me. That courage and bravery is required to be able to grow. Otherwise, if you think you know, then you stop growing. Thank you.
I know this is a platform for students, but I just had to ask you. I am a huge Star Trek fan, and imagine my surprise to see you as Aditya Sai in season 3 of Discovery. And sir, really, my surprise and my emotion that you were made the commissioned officer of Starfleet. So my question to you is, sir, what was it like to work with Sonequa Martin Green and other cast members, and is it different, like working on a national stage?
It is very different. I'll tell you why.
Have you finished your question? Yeah, finished.
So he's probably the only person who saw my Star Trek. Star Trek or naam huni sir? Yeah, that's not Star Trek. That is Jasus. Yes. Star Trek is one of the most iconic series. There were 3 Indians before me who acted in Star Trek. One was Persis Kambata, and the second was Vijay Amritraj, and the third is me. And it is an iconic series. It's the most expensive television series being made in the world currently. And the difference between acting in Star Trek and other things that I have done is that, first of all, the background is that Star Trek is a series which deals with interspecies, intergalactic species, because they travel across the universe. And thematically, it is how to find commonality rather than dissimilarities between the species. What binds us together and not focus on what separates us. And that is the most fundamental intention behind any art practice, by the way. Art brings people together. Like all of you are here. I'm from a different part of the world, different part in a sense, different part of the state, and you're all here listening to me because you have followed my art. And this conversation that I'm having, I am also invited sometimes in American states. Sometimes I go and talk in Netherlands because I spent 3.5 years there working and teaching and acting. So they invite me. So it crosses boundaries and it crosses culture, it crosses languages and religion and all that. Art is meant to bring people together under one roof rather than separate people. Most of the politicians do the opposite for their benefit. Don't fall for that. That's their job, unfortunately, that it has become like that. But it is art. That's why I practice art and I don't comment on politics, because let me do my job and let them do their job. We'll see who wins. That is the theme of Star Trek as well. To bring people, bring species together, not only people together, bring species together. So, when I first got the job, that's a long story, so I'll cut short. I got the job. I was invited, I was asked to land in Toronto. We shot in Toronto. There's a studio called Pinewood Studio. And I was asked to come 10 days before the shoot. So I reached there for 10 days. You know what they did? They did only costume trial. 1 millimeter Aji, next day another millimeter, third day another millimeter. It went on and on and on. Finally, when they gave me the costume, it fitted absolutely perfectly. Like it, yeah, everything. I was like, I'm already started bad. Okay, now that happened, but the most touching part is that the day of the shoot, I was escorted to the location. Location is a spaceship, And before I reach, I see all the cast and crew. I had three, including me, there are 3 actors in the scene. You saw it, so you know. Sonakia Martin Green and I forgot the other guy's name. Anyway, and then so they made a circle, and so they were standing in a circle, and the director is 3 inches taller than me, Olatunde, and so I came and I was included in the circle. They moved, they made me, stand in the circle, and Olatunde says, "Hello everybody, this is Adil from India," and so I said, "Hello everybody, nice to be here." And then everybody waited for longer time. Then I thought, oh, they want me to say a few more words. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't prepare. I said, so what came to my mind, I said, everybody, that I was born in a small little town in Assam called Gwalpara, and newspapers used to come 3 days after they were published. And today, I'm crossing the galaxies, so thank you for including me in the family. And they all clapped. And then what happened? Sonakia Martin Green came to the center of the circle, and she spread her arms like this. She's the star of the show, and I'm just a guest actor from some Gwalpara. Who cares, Yeah, that's the truth, And then she comes to the center, and she does this, and I go, and then she hugs me tight and whispers into my ear, "I'm so honored to work with you, Adil. So all the boundaries of who she is, as a star and blah blah, all that, all broke down. So a human being to human being, we met. All the boundaries were crushed under the artistic recognition of each other. And the scene is also very emotional. You saw the scene, and that scene became very popular in the Trekkies. I was called for the Comic Con, and they were like, and anyway, so that's how it happened. And I shot the scene, came back, and I saw when it got telecast, and I was very, very, very happy that I'm part of that series.
So your emotion that you showed when you were just made a commission of the...
I know.
It was so real, sir. How like,
I learned acting. I had good teachers.
I'm very happy to serve.
Anyone?
Hi, tell me.
What would you consider to be your best friend? Like, although you're lacking obvious in terms of acting.
Can you be a little louder, sweetheart?
Be a little louder. What would you consider to be your best work?
Best what?
Or go in terms of acting, maybe. In terms of acting.
Acting. What would I consider as my best work? I don't know, because there are so many different kinds of things I have done. But if I look at it from my experiential engagement, like experiential, biological experiential point of view, I would say Othello. Yeah. Which, unfortunately, nobody can see anymore. So I can lie about it. Because everybody has heard about this play Othello because we've done it for 10 years and across the globe, and it became a sort of a cult thingy. Oh, Adil in Othello. Some people have seen it, they still swear by it. But then they say, why don't you perform? I said, who knows when I perform next, how will it be? It's better to remain in the imagination than, And in films, I think another film, there's a film, it's a Marathi film I did called Sunrise. You can find the trailer if you Google Sunrise or YouTube Sunrise Adil Hussain. That film I think was the toughest one that I have so far done. Yeah. But I don't think I think it's available on YouTube or somewhere, I forgot. That's very tough, but I thought my performance had a lot of depth in it. Thank you.
So I'd like to put a question by me. So you've been known to be in a lot of films about that have social commentary, and you've known to play a lot of sort of antagonistic characters, whether that be Shashi's husband Satish in English or Mirza's father in What Will People Say. But these characters that you play, they're almost painfully human in that they are direct products of the society that they are in. So I'd like to ask, how do you approach these antagonistic characters who are less about villainy and more about the real complex influences that shape us as people?
Last part, what did you say?
Like, how do you approach characters that are less about villainy, but rather the real world that shapes us?
Yes. So it's a very important, I think it's a very good question. Thank you. What's your name? Huh? Darshana. Thank you, Darshana. It's a very pertinent question because that's one of the most important elements of art. That in art, we try to understand human being not as villain and heroes, as human beings. Because there are no villains in life. We are all villains and all heroes. Nobody might see us doing those terrible things, or at least nobody can see us thinking about terrible things in our thought. We may not execute those thoughts, but we have all the qualities of all human beings on the planet in every human being. We have bad thoughts. When I say bad means which is considered bad from the point of view of society, right? Chori karna mana hai, kisi ko, what do you call that? To kill someone is bad. But we feel something, like, He morigole phalai. We think. But imagine executing those, you'll be considered a villain. So, art's job, especially actors and writers' job, is to understand a human being and their backstory, why they do what they do. Then only we can have empathy. So our job as actors, as filmmakers, is to create empathy for each and every character that we play. The greatest of literature always make you do that. The greatest of literature always will try to evoke empathy for even Hitler. Because Hitler also has a backstory. Not saying you have to agree with them. Not saying you must follow what they do. But must understand what they do so that you, as Gandhiji said, you or Jesus said, or so many other greatest saints of our country said, don't hate the person, hate what they do so that you don't do it. But give a second chance. Always give a chance. Don't try find a way to forgive. So that when you hold grudges against someone, it's like when you hold grudges against someone, if you keep holding this cup, it's not very light. It's not very heavy, right? But if you hold it for 2 hours, your hand is going to start paining. And then if you hold it for 3 hours, you will not be able to hold like this. Forget about this cup. Even your hand you can't hold for 3 hours like this. And with a cup, so these are small grudges. We keep holding within ourselves. And you keep holding, and you keep holding, and you do not forgive. Forgive means letting this cup go. So idea is to forgive whatever you held against each other. Somebody, mother, father, parents, brothers, sisters, friends, teachers, whoever. Or even people you haven't met, politicians, or somebody who you thought, oh, is an evil man. Oh, don't hold this, let go. And you will find a way not to repeat what that person has done. When you hold it, there is a possibility that you would repeat what the same person, as the person who you hate. You understand what I'm saying? So letting go is a craft. It's an art it's a mystical craft. It's a spiritual craft. You have to learn how to let go of your grudges, accusations, unspoken blames. You understand? Yeah. Did I answer that question? Who you asked me. So that's our job. That I play roles and I humanize those roles so that they don't look at me as a villain. I am just another person who has this stupid quality. That person is not aware that he is a male chauvinist or a patriarch who thinks women are not equal. I mean, that is ignorance. That's not villainy. That ignorance comes from also the society that you grew up. You understand what I'm saying? That my dad was like that. I saw my dad behaving with my mother like that. That mother is a second-class citizen in the house. Sometimes, most of the time, that is the case. You know. So, what do I mean, if that is your circumstance of your home, then I have to find a way to get out of that. But somebody has to tell me now first, this is not normal. So then, because I'm lucky also to go out in the world, met people, read books, and realized that, oh, this is so abnormal that 50% of the population of the world, we think they're not equal. That women are not equal. How is it justified? Under no condition it's justified. We're different. Not equal or not unequal. We are just different. We have different abilities. In fact, I told my dad that, Dad, what you did for me, my mom could have done easily for me. Earned money, if she wanted, and sent me to school, paid for education and everything what you did. But what my mom did for me, if you break your head on that wall and die, you cannot do because you don't have ovaries, wombs, uterus and breasts. You don't have it. Even if you wanted, you can't. You are unable. unable to do it by nature, by design. So don't even think for a second you are superior to my mom. Then my mom said, then my dad said, you have a point. I said, I do. Yeah, that's the truth. You know, my mom taught me what is grace, what is tolerance, what is tenderness, what is compassion, what is empathy. No matter what I did, no matter how I behaved, she would get angry but immediately come back to me and, you know, show me her love. I was breastfed for 6 years, I remember. No joke, eh? So I cannot forget that. And that's probably one of my strengths, that I grew up with the love from my mother, and understood that nobody is a villain. If that guy is a villain, I'm also a villain. That means, because I have got so many thoughts which bother me. Of course, I don't execute them, but bother me. I just pretend to be a noble person, but I'm not. If I have to count those thoughts. Okay.
So I think we have some rapid fire questions.
Oh dear God, rapid fire, which I don't like, but I will try. Who has? You have? Yes.
We'll have a rapid fire for 90 seconds and we have around 10 questions. So, are you ready?
No.
Ready or not, here it comes. One role that changed your life.
Huh?
One role that changed your life.
One word.
Role.
Role.
Yes.
Othello. Oh
Thea-
no, not Othello. I would say Mephistopheles. Yeah.
Theatre, cinema, which one would you pick?
Theatre any day.
One actor you would love to share the screen with.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
One director that you would love to work with.
He's not no more alive. Satyajit Ray.
One person, living or dead, that you would like to spend a day with.
One person.
Living or dead, that you would like to spend a day with.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Your comfort food after a long shoot.
Khar aromas.
If not an actor, what would you have been?
Probably a teacher or a cook.
3 films you'd suggest the youth of today to watch.
3 films. Of who? Any film?
Yes.
Oh my God. All of his films.
A moment in life that you'd love to relive.
Love to?
Relive.
The day I saw my wife.
And
I
finally,
was like, who is she? It was like, she is out of the world.
if we go off of that, one word to describe that moment in Othello before the curtains fell.
Slow down. Rapid fire means I have to understand also, no?
One word to describe that one play in that one moment in Othello before the curtains fell.
One moment to describe.
The one moment to describe that fateful moment in Othello with your wife before the curtains fell.
All right. She was not my wife then. I was in love with her. And I have a scene in Othello that Othello kills Desdemona. And I didn't feel like killing her. So this is not a rapid fire, no? So I went to my director the next day and I said, and he was my classmate, and he's a Mallu, you know, he's from Royston Abel, his name is from Kerala. I said, darling, I just don't feel like killing Kristen here. What are you talking about? I said, yeah, I look at her and I'm like, I can't. Okay, don't kill. Then I said, but what do? I don't know, you have a problem, solve it. So anyway, I didn't kill her later. I changed Shakespeare completely and married her.
And last but not the least, as per your opinion, a rising star in the industry right now.
This guy who played, his name is Sparsh. I think he, in Lapata Ladies, he's a very, very good actor. And he played my son in an advertisement. I did it for An Academy. on Women's Day. He played myself. That's the first time I met him. Yeah, I think he's very good. I think he's going to do well. Yeah. And there are a lot of NSD actors who I teach quite often. There are a lot of them. So much promising actors. Thank you. Good?
So I actually want, it's a request from my side, one very powerful or one dialogue which you would like to share from any movie, any
From Othello, maybe.
wherever you feel like.
So that's your stage actually.
So this is from Othello, and here I've been told by Iago that your wife is having an affair with this guy called Cassio, and I'm just wondering if I remember all the lines or not. And he is alone. He's been just told, and he's alone, and he is sad and angry, of course. And he says, let me see. Had it pleased heaven to try me with affliction, had there rained all kinds of sores and shames on my bare head, and given to captivity me and my utmost hopes, steeped me in poverty to my very lips, I should have found in some place of my soul a drop of patience. But there, where I've gone out of my heart, there I must live or bear no life. I forgot the rest.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, from DPS Jorhat, I'd like to request you for an action. We have a cup on the table beside you. If you would, could you please sign it for our school to remember this visit for?
Thank you. A big round of applause.